hey, everybody. Woohoo! All right, here we are. Sorry, the stand is bouncing there. We are live. It is now 6:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on October the 8th, 2025. I'm cleaning my glasses. Oh, somebody has joined us. Hey, Bella. Greetings. Come in, everyone. Come on in. Gather around. Hey, Catherine. Come on in. Minnie, greetings. Hey. We're going to talk about 3i Atlas. We're going to talk about what it is, what it might be, etc., etc. Hey, Max. Greetings. First time, welcome. Welcome. Let me adjust this just a little bit more. Okay. Corey, greetings. Barb, oh, it's good to catch you too, girl. Debs, greetings. Hey, everybody. I'm just going to say hi for a little while, and then I'm going to have to make myself stop. Oh, Bobby, greetings, girl. Greetings. And Chipper is here in the chair across the way from me. And Sugar, yep, Sugar's over there. Both the cats are here and present for our gathering. Susie, Denise, hey girl. Someone's handles yummy treats and candy and more. Very yummy name. Hey, Bonnie. Greetings. Catherine from Australia. All right, y'all. I got a quick greeting, everyone. I see y'all coming in quickly. Here we go. Are you ready? Let's talk about this amazing 3i Atlas thing that is coming. Lots of people are talking about it. There's all kinds of thoughts and concerns about it. And I'm going to share real quick. Here's an image that Jan Frejovic has put on his page. And hang on a minute. I am so sorry, y'all. Shoot. I wish there was a way I could do this without having to crack and make noise with my little stand here. This will be very unprofessional, but I'm going to do it this way. I do not worry about professional stuff. I think y'all know that. I think if any of you know me, you know I'm not a techie person. What you see is what you get. There it is. And here it comes. There it is. That's the famous 3i Atlas. And it's big, from what they say. I've heard all kinds of things. I don't know what's true as far as that goes, but its behavior is not like a meteor. It's not like a comet or anything like that. It's totally not. Oh, who sent me 50 stars? Angela, thank you. Thanks. Okay, so 3i Atlas. It has all kinds of interesting things about the name. I'm not going to go into that right now. You could learn that from other places. What I want to tell you about today is what I have perceived and picked up today. I suddenly felt led to ask questions about it. And so always do, I ask Source, God, Spirit, and oh, there's a sundog right outside on the sky. You know what that is? It's a little blotch of a rainbow. There've been a lot of those lately. And then I muscle test it, which is a double check to make sure I'm hearing right. So I ask, I tend to hear, and then on top of that, I muscle test it, strength test it to see if it confirms. And that's what I did earlier today, and had that strong knowing inside that, wow, what I just heard was for real, and I needed to share it, so I'm going to do that. First of all, if any of you have not heard about this 3-eye atlas object that is so large and coming our way, the scientists are saying it doesn't act like a comet, doesn't act like a meteorite, it has no tail. And normally a comet or meteorite has a tail behind it of where it's, you know, vaporizing and coming apart, and the debris behind. Well, that's interesting. There are now 2 sundogs out there. They're very small, but the little rainbow things. Don't think I've ever seen that before. Okay. They're confused by it. It doesn't act right, number one. To begin with, it also was coming, let's say this is it, okay? It had an area of light before it. As it was traveling through space, it had light in front of it. That isn't how things normally go. They've never seen that before. And it just didn't make sense. And the way it is navigating through space, some of them feel it is intentional. It shows intelligent design to what's happening. I don't know how they could figure out what it's made of, but they also have said they feel it is not made of conventional materials. So let's just say it outright. If it's not a comet, if it's not a meteorite, if it's nothing like that, what is left? They're thinking it is a spacecraft. And I don't know how big they're saying it is now, but I heard something crazy at one time. They said it was like 3,000 miles wide or long. And don't hold me to that, but we're talking really big. We're talking at least the size of a state or cities, and I'm pretty sure I heard that before. But how can they know all that so accurately? I really don't know. But I will tell you what I heard today. Now, oh, thank you, Emily. She sent me 500 stars. Uh-oh, we got a frozen... Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. Look at all the hearts and everything. Thanks, Emily. I'm feeling the love. Thank you all. You're showering me with blessings. Thanks. So, if it's a spacecraft, what does that mean to us? Are we getting ready to experience what people have been waiting on all this time? Some with fear and trembling, and some with excitement. Is it an unmanned spacecraft is the question. But I heard someone say they were able to somehow tell it had living beings on board. I don't know how they would be able to tell that either. So I'm just tossing this total hearsay your way. Now, if it is inhabited, it's evidently large and could hold lots of whoever might be on it. And some people are saying, well, maybe this is Nibiru. Maybe this is the winged planet. Maybe this is what was perceived as that. Maybe this is the Anunnaki come back to check on us, and they were never very nice to us to begin with. And so I've heard these things, and I sat down with the Lord and I asked today. I asked. And Catherine says, heard it was a Lyrian spacecraft. Anything is up right now as far as what we actually know. You know, we don't know. We just don't know. So let me tell you what I heard. I said, is it a meteor? And I got, no. Is it a comet? And I got no. I said, is it a natural space object, naturally occurring? I got no. Okay, so that doesn't leave a lot. I said, is it some sort of craft? And I got, yes. Well, how about that? And so I asked a lot of questions earlier today, and I said, well, is it inhabited? And I got, yes. Like, wow, okay. I said, are they for us or against us? This is what I heard. They are neutral. They are neutral. They are objective and neutral when it comes to us. Interesting. I said, are they angelic beings? And I got kind of a wobbly answer, and so I got more specific. You know, in the Bible and in other books, holy books and ancient texts and scripts, there is information like in Ezekiel. It talks about a wheel inside of a wheel with eyes all around. That sounds like the sound of many waters. Talks about how it moves forward and backward and sideways. It's describing what the Hebrew word for it is Merkabah or Merkabah. That we used to hear a lot more about. I haven't heard much about it in a while. This is literally the shape of what they call a Merkabah or Merkabah. It is the six-pointed star, and this is a three-dimensional one. So depending on how you look at it, it has different shapes. But this is like one of the major, if not the major, building blocks of the universe. Okay, so that's a Merkabah or Merkabah. Supposedly, we are built with this in us. But there is a vehicle that in Hebrew is what Merkabah is, and it is what is described in those ancient scriptures that whirls like the sound of many waters and is in the round with eyes all around, a wheel inside a wheel. That is right there in the scriptures. And it actually, in one of the cases, calls it the throne of God, a moving throne. Isn't that interesting? So I was wondering, are we getting a divine visitation? But I don't believe we are at this point. Oh. Thank you to Sai. Sent me 99 stars. Thank you so much. Mwah. I don't believe that's what we're getting quite yet. I think this is a precursor. Are you with me? Are you all hearing me? Give me, yep. Thank you. Got some hearts. Thank you so much. Mwah. All right. I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to just say all this stuff right out, okay? I asked a lot of questions. I don't believe I should share all of what I heard at this point, but I'm going to share the lion's share of it. The lion. See him back here? Okay. So I said, if it's not traditional angels, and they're not for us or against us, they are neutral. What are they? And I went through a whole bunch of stuff that came to mind. And this is what I hit on. They are watchers. Watchers. This is a concept that is described in many ancient texts, scriptures, and it is present in the Bible. and it is big time present in the book of Enoch. To my surprise today, I remembered a quote from the book of Enoch, and I read it a very long time ago. I thought it was a biblical quote, but it wasn't. It turned out to be from the book of Enoch, and I'm going to share that with you in a minute. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. Everybody, stay hydrated. Okay. So, let's start looking into this more intensely, shall we? Let me get down into here. Oh, and gosh, where to go next? I'm going to read you the quote from the book of Enoch. Here it is. It's in Enoch, First Enoch. There are more than one book in the Enoch series, so to speak. Chapter 9, verse 3. The watchers hear the cry of distress from the earth in the book of Enoch, especially in 1 Enoch 9:3. Where it mentions that the souls of human beings raise their petitions to the Most High. This passage highlights the response of the archangels to the suffering caused by certain actions, like especially the Nephilim, which were the offspring of fallen beings that most people mistakenly call angels. We kind of stick everything in the category of angel. We don't know what to do with it. These were literally the, quote, sons of God, which are a different rank. They were a rank that was supposed to help dealing between heaven and earth and giving information and watching over the works of men and women on the earth. And the sons of God were supposed to be like just underneath God to help in directing things. And you'd have to listen to a guy named Heiser, who is a really brilliant scholar who looks at the Bible scriptures from the viewpoint of the ancient peoples who were on the earth at the time the different ones were written. And you see the thoughts and the way they come at things, and you can actually find that it talks about when God descended onto the top of the mountain in the Old Testament, he had all these sons of God with him. Isn't that interesting? They were there to witness and be a part of what was happening. Okay. So the watchers are a whole nother kind of critter. Let's talk about that. The watchers are objective, neutral watchers who listen and observe what is going on, probably in the whole universe or universes, but we know that they do this here. They have been mistakenly referred to as angels, but they are strictly watchers. Their job is to observe and report what they see and hear and perceive. Now, they showed up in the Bible right before the flood. That has a little ominous ring to it, doesn't it? They show up at important times of great change and significance to assess the situation. And they act in a legal manner. From what I can perceive, there is a theater, so to speak, something that's being played out in time and space and in many dimensions between Creator, Prime Creator God, and the many beings that were created by Source. And we know there has been, so to speak, some rebellion or opposition to the Source. And we see that in human beings on the earth too. But evidently it's a wider thing than that. And so in this theater that is going on, which involves angels and fallen angels and other kinds of beings and creatures and created beings and races, there is opinion about this Creator's actions. And we see this documented in the book of Job, where it says some sons of God and Satan means accuser of the brethren. It means the adversary. It means the prosecutor. He's not your friend. He has come to judge. He showed up where he'd been walking throughout time and space, and there was a conversation that took place in that book. And we see the theater happening. And Job is the subject of that. And in this story, God says, have you seen my servant Job? He's fabulous. He's wonderful. And then Satan speaks up and says, oh, make it hard on him, and you'll find he'll curse you and hate you. So he proceeded to do all kinds of terrible things to Job. Okay, but forget that. There's the theater. So watchers come, they observe, they look at what's happening. They hear the cries of the earth. They hear the cries of the blood, of the unjust blood that has been slain. Blood, according to many scriptures and writings, has a voice. How can that be? I think we're talking quantum physics here. We're talking mysteries as well, because until we know what it is, it's a mystery. So these watchers come. They observe what's happening, and in the case of Genesis 6, when the sons of God had come down and decided they were going to have relations with women, and there were offspring called the Nephilim, which were giants and great men of renown during the day. Some of these were supposed to be crazy, like 60 feet tall, and some of them hundreds of feet tall. We're talking the Titans. We're talking a half-breed of something like little gods, little g god, and humanity. Atlas was one of these. Isn't that interesting? And that's what this is called, 3-eye Atlas. Just an interesting name that it's been given. Whether it means anything in reality, who knows? So, when the watchers in chapter 6 of Genesis saw this, they reported to Creator that the earth was filled with violence and wickedness, and that the thoughts and intentions of mankind or humankind was evil continually. Now, after that we had the flood that wiped out all the people except for Noah and his family, and of course 2 of each of the creatures and animals on the earth. Now, it wiped out the Nephilim and the giants too. And according to Enoch, the book of Enoch, the giants had become so big, they had eaten everything. The whole earth was being devastated by them because they were massive, and there were lots of them. And they began, according to the book of Enoch, to eat human beings, and were doing that on a regular basis. Well, there's something else we know of that does that, something called reptilians, aren't there? There's a lot of things going on here. And it's time for Earth to no longer be a prison planet. It's time for us to no longer be held under the chains of another being or race that hinders us from being who we really are and what we're meant to be. We are at the end of the 6th day of the 7 days recorded. each day is 1,000 years. Well, we're coming up in this particular phase of Earth to the 7th day, the 7,000th year, if you count it without the BC AD stuff. So, in Genesis, the watchers reported on what had happened, and then action was taken to deal with what was going on the earth, the cruelty and the viciousness. So here we see in the book of Enoch, it says that there was cries of distress from the earth. I think the earth herself is crying out during these days. I think the animals and the creatures are crying out, and we've talked about that before, longing for the revealing of those of us who are the sons and daughters of Creator God to come back into our proper place, remember who we are, and take our power back and bring this planet, this place back to what it's meant to be, which is 5D, beauty, abundance. No more of this suffering and viciousness. No more disease and brokenness, because everyone will know that we are one with one another, one with our source creator, and everyone will act differently when they realize what I do to you, I'm doing to myself. We'll be enlightened, all of us. Okay. So we're dealing with watchers that are coming, evidently, in this vessel called 3i Atlas. We must be at an important point. And we know we are, don't we? We know we are. Anyone who has their eyes open at all can see that we are in important times. We're at the end of an age. We are at the beginning of a new era, a new age, the restoring and renewing to bring the new earth into place, to bring us into the place where we are brought back to who we truly are, where our DNA is restored. All this photonic light coming in, that's what we're watching. Those of you who keep saying, what does this mean? What does this mean? You need to go to the top of my page and read about it. Read about it in the Schumann kit, which is one of the pinned posts at the top of my page. But let's talk about it now. It means we're watching these energies, not just for the heck of it. We're not just watching it because of what we feel, though that's a big part of it. We're watching it to know we're not alone, and to see and understand what's happening. When you feel exhausted, it's because your brain is having to create new neurosynaptic connections, new dendrites and pathways to be able to handle the new stuff being done, the incredible energies, which is photonic energy, light energy. How do you activate DNA scientifically? With light. Our source creator and all the beings assisting this one, call them extraterrestrials, whatever you want to say, are involved in this. Because we're all connected, we're all woven in this fabric and tapestry of creation, not just on earth, but all of us, until we are whole and restored to who we truly are and who we're truly meant to be. The whole universe is suffering. Did y'all hear that? It is in the best interest of every being in this universe for us to become whole and to get free and to find out who we truly are and to be restored to the high place and freedom that is our birthright here on this earth. That, I believe, is what is coming down. I believe that is what this is all about. I asked Spirit. I asked the Lord, what will be their report? Because we know that God, the Most High, whatever you want to call this one, Source, knows everything. Knowledge is unlimited in that place and in that being. They already know the answer. It just has to play out in a legal sense for these neutral beings called watchers to come and assess what's happening in the earth, to assess humanity, to assess how we are responding. Those of us who are following after love and light and seeking to love, forgive, and walk in a place of non-judgment, you're on the good side, okay? But there are still people who are not, obviously. They haven't caught on yet. And I'm just going to submit to you what I heard. I heard the report will be that the majority of the inhabitants of earth are seeking good. The inhabitants of the earth are longing to follow the path of light and love and truth. I don't know if that was true 10 years ago, but look what we have found out. I think it's like the wool has been pulled away from many of our eyes. I think people who lived in La La Land and followed their little religious rules and had their social, cultural ideas and everyone else was wrong are having a lot of wake-up calls. I certainly have. I'm still having a lot of them, and I welcome them because I need to change. I need to wake up. I need to become more and more aligned with the truth, and I welcome it. But Earth and the inhabitants have been exposed to truths and hard things that we just couldn't have known before. We would not have been willing to hear. We had our little boxes, we put everything in, and we left it there. Hey, Deborah, thank you. Deborah sent me 100 stars. Thank you. But you know, those boxes are confining and they're limiting. And truth doesn't just fit in my little box or your little box. And this one that we call Source, Creator, Great Spirit, Prime Source, Holy Spirit, God, doesn't fit in any of our boxes. We can't even begin to conceive or grasp because we are one facet of this awesome diamond. We were created and made in the image of this one, but we don't have all the facets. We have one or two maybe. And we reflect and are made in the likeness thereof. And this one is love. And this beautiful one loves us. And not only that, he understands us like no one can. But the report, I believe, if I heard correctly, that will come from the watchers, besides more details, of course, overall is to say that the majority of the inhabitants of the earth want good and love and truth and life, and have realized a lot in the last several years. That's good news. To me, that sounds like we're getting ready to break out of this prison planet. It sounds like there's going to be a jailbreak. It sounds like we're going to see it on multiple levels. I want you to just open your mind a minute to what my mind feels opened up to. We're seeing it on the relationships between people and individuals. We're seeing this huge thing that is coming and happening and breaking down old ways that belong to this prison way of doing things. One of the first things that happened to help a huge amount of us break out of this was the internet. Was the ability to see and hear what people are thinking and believing all over the world. It really was an eye-opener and still is. The movie The Matrix was a massive eye-opener. The, come on, Marguerite. Not Star Trek. Star Trek had its place too. But Star Wars, the concepts of the Force and all of that, those were really new thoughts for most of us, and it's become common thought now. We have changed a whole lot in the last however many years, and with all this in mind, we're realizing that our little box ain't all there is. The way our family does it isn't always just right and everyone else is wrong. And yet a lot of people still try to cling to those little boxes and compartments. But you all are not those people, though we may all struggle with it from time to time. So, hang on just a minute. Like I said, this is all, boom, this is fresh today. Actually, about 4 o'clock today. I called a couple of my friends and dropped this on them, and we discussed it. Helps me work through what I'm hearing and bringing it more into a way that I can share it often. I want to show you a watcher in the Old Testament, in the Bible, just so you'll see this concept of what we are being visited by. But before we do that, okay, there's something else I need to do. Thank you. I'm glad that came to me. Hang on a minute. I'm going to have to unhook this. You all pardon me for the racket I'm about to make, okay? I'm sorry, but I don't have fancy technology. I do everything we do here with an iPhone and an iPad. Okay, here we go. This is one of the things I looked up today. This is showing the different layers of our atmosphere and our magnetosphere, the front, the head of it, so to speak. And of course, that's Earth. And let me get that shining light out of the way. I turned it on because it's going to get dark. It's already getting dark here. I asked the Lord, are these beings going to come into our atmosphere? Are they going to come onto the Earth? Are we going to see them? This is what I heard. They're going to come into the ionosphere. This is our atmosphere, but this is way up. This is 53 to 375 miles out from Earth. Okay? This is too. Now, this troposphere, can you see this? Let me zoom in on it for you. The troposphere is where airplanes fly, as a rule. We got stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere, and the ionosphere encompasses these top 3 on the outside. I heard that these beings are going to come in their ship at the top of our atmosphere. And from that place, they will be able to learn everything they need. I don't know how. I'm sure they have technology and abilities that we can't even grasp at this point. But they will be able to see and hear and know and perceive. Now, just for a little more info, this is another image, and I found this very helpful because we deal with the magnetosphere often. This whole thing is the magnetosphere, so to speak. The outer edge is the magnetopause, and it's sort of like we're ensconced in it, but this is showing the different layers. The exosphere, you see the satellites are out there, but it's still in our atmosphere. Isn't that interesting? Because the Van Allen belts, the radiation belts, make it very difficult for anyone to get in or get out. All right, this ionosphere, which covers this whole area here, that is highly charged with energies from the sun especially. It's full of intense, highly charged particles. Then we have in the mesosphere, this is where comets come in and burn up, evidently here. The stratosphere is where, like, our vessels, like Challenger, are able to fly, and maybe some other really unusual craft. I think what some people, I believe, and forgive me, I may be totally wrong, but I think jet airplanes can go up to 30,000 feet. But most of that takes place in the troposphere. So these beings are going to be out here, looking in on us. And here we see the whole thing kind of laid out again. And here we have our Schumann resonance showing up. It bounces up and down in a wave from the crust of the earth all the way to the top of our atmosphere, which is the ionosphere. That's what we talk about a lot. Okay, let's come back here. Now, pardon me, but I'm going to have to make noise again. Brace yourselves. If this really bothers you, you may want to wait until I'm through. Cover your ears. Some people were really bothered by it one time, and I don't want to torture anyone. There. And I'm going to try and plug it in for charging. There we go. Chipper is with us, by the way. Okay. So this craft, which is being called the 3I Atlas, is going to come inside our atmosphere at least. I don't know. I don't think it's going to come any further down, but who knows? You know, the old beam me up, Scotty, beam me down. Who knows? The question is, will we see them? Well, I'm sure they will see them in our atmosphere. I mean, you know, we're talking, if you have a simple telescope, you'll be able to see them. So, a lot of people are going to be freaking out, panicking, and thinking, oh my gosh, what's happening? Oh, and by the way, we had a black spike. I will be reporting on that, but this has kind of been capturing me. Black spike meaning timeline shift or jump. Spatial anomaly is available right now. Isn't that interesting? It took a while, but here it is. Now, let's talk a little more about the watchers. Are you all enjoying this? Are you enjoying it? Let me know something. And if you're tired, you don't want to hear anymore, that's fine, but do what you need. You can come back and watch it later. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. Now, one of the places that we have in Scripture, ancient book Scripture, that talks about watchers is in the book of Daniel. And I'm going to read some of this to you. I want you to see what kind of authority these beings have. I want you to see that big decisions come because of what they see, what they perceive in their neutral, objective observations. So the whole earth, everybody needs to straighten up right now if they're not straightened up. Everybody, oh, there's a cardinal outside my window. Hey, baby, I don't know if you're going to find any seed left over out there. I can't get up and give you any right now. I'll go feed the deer after this. It'll probably be dark. It'll be okay. All the beautiful little critters. What in the world was I saying? Woo, it's gone. But anyway, I want us to look and see how these beings, that's it, how they behave and how powerful they are. Okay. Let me get further down here. Somehow it wasn't scrolling with me. Okay. Moving on through. Oh my goodness, what have I missed? Trying to get to the end. Okay, I saw that. I found out today a lot of you sent me stars I wasn't aware of, and I apologize. If you come after it's all over, after the live is done, and you add, sometimes I may not see the stars you sent because I want to thank every one of you. So today I spent a long time going and trying to respond to everyone over the last little while. Okay, Deborah, I saw yours. Zoom. Wow, a lot of you are here. Tammy, thank you for the 20 stars. Feel the love. I'm at the end. Yes, the book of Daniel. Carmen is trying to help me out here. Okay, thank you, Carmen. Let me read you this. So it's not terribly long, but I want you to really listen and look for the relationship, okay? Look for what these beings are like and watch and see what happens after they have come and observed. All right, this is the book of Daniel in the Old Testament in chapter 4. And we're going to come over here and just kind of begin at verse 13, where it actually starts talking about the watchers. And Daniel is speaking. And Daniel is they called him a righteous man, a good man, but he also had a lot of gifts. He was a seer. He had visions. He could interpret dreams. Some of you all might be able to relate to Daniel. And he was highly loved by our Creator. We are highly loved, but Daniel it was said to him that he was beloved. Okay. He is speaking, and he says, I saw in the visions of my head while I was on my bed, and there was a watcher, a holy one, coming down from heaven. He cried aloud or strongly and said this, chop down the tree. Now this is in response to a dream. Chop down the tree, cut off its branches, strip off its leaves, and scatter its fruit. Let the beasts get out from under it, and the birds from its branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump and roots in the earth, bound with a band of iron and bronze. In the tender grass of the field, let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let him graze with the beasts. Speaking of Nebuchadnezzar, who was a king at the time, who was being a jerk, not treating people right, etc. Let him graze with the beast on the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from that of a man. Let him be given the heart of a beast, and let 7 times pass over him. That's 7 years. This decision, listen to this strong, okay? This decision is by the decree of the watchers, and the sentence by the word of the holy ones, in order that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, gives it to whoever he will, and sets over it the lowest of men. Well, there you hear what the Creator thinks of some of the highfalutin leaders in our world. Doesn't mean they're the best men or women, doesn't mean that they're the greatest or the most perfect. In this case, Nebuchadnezzar had been a jerk. Did you see though? The watcher saw what had happened. Okay? Nebuchadnezzar was the one who had that dream. And I won't go into the details, but this is powerful. And now I'm going to read the next verse. This dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now you, Belteshazzar, declare its interpretation, since all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known to me the interpretation, but you're able, for the Spirit of the Holy God is in you. That was where Daniel gave him the interpretation. All right, that was the work of a watcher who came and assessed what was happening. And the dream was from source, revealing to Nebuchadnezzar what was happening and was about to happen in his life. And this did happen. And yet there was a type of redemption, and Nebuchadnezzar was restored to his kingdom after 7 years of craziness where he lived in the fields. Now, that was a watcher. That's powerful. Watchers are powerful, but they're also neutral and they're just. They are not swayed one way or the other. They are observing, they're here to see and to watch what is happening in the earth. They will see the right and the wrong. They will see the injustices done by human beings, one to another, to the animals, to the creatures, to the earth. All of this is being assessed and taken into account. And it needs to. Things have happened that should never have happened. These beings that feed off of our negative emotions, these beings that hurt us and provoke harm and blind people in their souls and their hearts and make them deaf and dumb and unable to know the truth, they need to be stopped. And we will all rejoice when that happens. I sure will. True and good human beings and the creatures of the earth rejoice when an evil tyrant is removed from harming and stopped from harming the earth and the people and the creatures. There will be a great celebration. And it's coming. You know, as crazy as it sounds, I'm going to go ahead and say it again because it came to me. I shared with you all months ago how I was sitting in my living room and all of a sudden a bird came right close to the window. Through the window glass, I could hear it singing very intensely. And I was doing something and I stopped, and I stopped because I heard it. I heard what it was saying. And some of you shared with me later that you're able to do that too. This is in us, beloved. We were meant to know, to understand the animals and the creatures of the earth. We are their caregivers. We are the ones who were to watch over them, care for them, not hurt them, not hurt the earth, etc. And some people have a gift. They can hear and understand, and I didn't used to. I guess it started about 15 years ago. I would have loved to have done it my whole life, and as a child I think I did more. But this bird, gosh, I don't think I have it written in this notebook. Let me check real quick. It wasn't a long message, but it was profound and it was strong. It hit me hard. They look to us because we are the ones set in place to protect and keep this earth. Okay. Please hang on just a moment. I want to see if I can find that message. Well, shoot, I'm not going to take any more time. The gist of it was, new earth is coming. New earth is coming. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Do you know it? And that was one of the messages. It was a lot more than that. Not long, but it was intense. And then the next time it happened, it was very urgent and just tore at my heart. It said, they are hurting us. They are hurting us. Stand up and take your place. Stand up and take your authority. And stop the wrong. We cannot do it, but you can. Please, please stand up. And there's a scripture that says that all creation, and I can't get away from this, it just stays with me. All creation is groaning and travailing like a woman giving birth, longing for the day of the revealing of the sons and daughters of God. For us to remember who we are made in the likeness of, who we are one with. And in that place, we will take charge. And we and the earth will no longer be abused. The animals and the creatures will not be abused. Life will infuse everything. Life and love and joy. And it will be as it's meant to be. And we're, I believe, going to live to see it. And we're coming up on it. The fact that there is something approaching Earth. They say it's not going to hit Earth. At least we think that's what it means. I saw somewhere one of the meanings of Atlas was, what was that? It had to do with the last notice of a near approaching object. That's what ATLAS stood for. I'm not afraid, I'm not worried, and I don't believe you should be either. I think the way we prepare is here. I think we need to work on forgiving everybody, and I know offenses happen all the time. I had someone stand and scream at me the other day that I was an idiot and I was so stupid. They could just hardly endure me. Ooh, that upset me. I did not keep my joy to that. I did not. And we have to forgive on an ongoing daily basis. We have to stay on top of this. We don't have to, but let me tell you, it is worth it. Because forgiveness is the gateway into the kingdom of heaven, into 5D, into the quantum field of possibilities, into the place of miraculous and instant manifestation. Forgiveness is the gateway. It's like the first step. You have to forgive yourself. Learn to love yourself. Learn to love others. And realize everybody, no matter how lousy they have behaved, are somehow doing the best they can right where they are with what they have, what they've been through, and what they've experienced. Someone who's never experienced unconditional love, how can they love like that? You know, some of us were emotionally the equal of being locked in a basement or an attic and hardly fed. Some of us, our needs were not met. We were not loved. We were not nurtured. We were not cared for because I guess our parents didn't have what it took. It wasn't in them. You know the old saying, you can't get blood out of a turnip? You can't get something out of a person who doesn't have it. So when we experience these things, we have to understand that we are not wise enough to judge anyone. We can observe the fruit that comes from their life, but you can't condemn or judge or give a final word on anyone, because there's always tomorrow. Until we're dead, there's hope. So, not knowing what broke that person, messed them up, and caused them to be so angry or so hurtful or blind or deaf and dumb in their hearts, we really can't judge. So you say to them, I'll just share it with you real quick. I learned this from Louise Hay in a book that was given to me by someone when I was the head of a nonprofit organization, shall we say. You say the person's name so-and-so. I forgive you for not being what I wanted you to be. I know somehow you were doing the best you could right where you were with what you had and where you've been and what you'd experienced and what you know. And I have been forgiven for so much and a lot more. And I can afford to forgive you. So-and-so, I forgive you, I release you, and I set you free. And when you do that, you set yourself free. You just give them over to God. You give them over to the universe. You give them over to the laws of sowing and reaping and karma. You give them over, and you don't try to enforce anything. You don't try to make sure that they suffer or try to press others to be angry at them. You let go of it, and you get to walk free. It doesn't mean you allow that person to stay in your life and hurt you, torture you, or abuse you. Not at all. But we must forgive them and move on. Let go. Don't try to hold judgment or payback over anyone. So did you catch? So-and-so, I forgive you for not being what I wanted you to be. You take charge there. You're owning it. You're not helpless anymore. You're not a victim anymore. You are now bringing it in, taking your strength. I forgive you for not being what I wanted you to be. And you think about it, you feel it. Remember how it was. Then say, I forgive you for not being what I wanted you to be. I know somehow you were doing the best you could. No one wakes up and wants to act like a complete idiot and hurt all the people around them that they care about. They can turn into that eventually, but what kind of weird brokenness brings them to that point? So I know somehow you're doing the best you can right where you are with what you had. That's all you had, or you would have done better. And then you forgive them and go on from there. I encourage you, come back and replay that. If you didn't get it, if you don't already know it, go through everyone you know, because just about everything you know, everyone you know has offended you, either by something they've done, said, or something they didn't do. We are sensitive beings. So, that is what I believe I've heard is coming. It means we're getting closer than ever to where we are going to move into the new era, new earth, 5D. Exciting. Buckle up, Buttercup. Nobody can stop what's coming, because this has been prophesied for millennia. And I personally welcome it, and I'm not afraid. Not afraid, because I know if I even die, which I don't think I will through this, I will live again. I know that. I am not afraid, because I know that the one who made us, our source, creator, is love. And that I am loved, and you are loved. And you You know, life is good, and we can make it even better. Let's do the heart-brain coherence meditation really fast, and then I'm going to say good night for now. You all have hung in here with me, and I appreciate it. I think I've told you everything I need to tell you. I know, I think what they're going to look like, but I'm not supposed to tell you yet. I don't know why. Maybe later. Okay, touch your heart area. This does amazing things, and we experience beautiful stuff and bliss and love and healing. And your heart, if it's out of rhythm, it may be fine before this 3 minutes is up. Whatever's going on with you may be gone if it's negative by the end of our 3 minutes. So touch your heart area. Bring your attention right here. Now imagine you're breathing in from the heart area. Breathe in and out from the heart area. Of course, you're breathing through your nose and your mouth, but imagine it's coming in here. This activates your heart torus field, an energy field. Think of something that you're very grateful for, something that you will feel thankful for. I'm thankful for my little fur baby Chipper who's over there. Thankful for you all. Thankful for our tribe. Think of what you're thankful for. Begin to think about it and let yourself feel it. And as we're doing this for 3 minutes, remember every so often at least to breathe in and out from the heart. And think continually and feel that gratitude. And this will take you into a whole new place. Into 3D, 5D, pardon me, into 5D. All right, here we go. I will let you know when the 3 minutes is up, so let us begin. Take note of how you feel now, and notice when we're through how you feel. was fast. If you check yourself now, see if you feel different. Did you experience like bliss or love or peace? Did that anxiety wash away? Did your heart go back into rhythm? Did your headache leave? What happened? Just thank you. Tanya, thank you. Wow, I appreciate it. 500 stars. Thank you so much. Feel the love in a lot of ways from you all. Thank you. I'd love it if you'd share in the comments if you experience some sort of balancing out, restoration, peace, love. If your heart went back in rhythm, anxiety left, you felt peace in its place, I'd love to hear about it, you all. So please, please do write in the comments and let me know. Hey Kim, I'm grateful too. So grateful. Bridget says, holy smokes, that was something. It's amazing what happens when this bunch gets together. It really is. It's like synergy. More powerful when we do these things together. Peace to you, Samantha. Strength. Thank you all, Lord. Thank you all. I'm drunk. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for spending this time with me. And don't worry about 3i Atlas. Just stay focused on love and loving people, loving yourself and forgiving. Forgive yourself if you blow it, and just move on. Just move on. Love you much. Have a beautiful night. Mwah. Good night. Chipper says good night. And Sugar too. Yeah, Chipper's like, oh, are we through? He's looking, okay, I've got to try and do this. Hang on, it's going to be hard to see him because it's so dark in the rest of the room. Okay. Here we go. Here's Chipper Boo. Chip, look back around. There's Chipper. He's been sitting there the whole time. What is it, Chipper? What is it, boy? What is it? Aww. Okay, and there's Sugar Baby right there, resting on a pillow. Beautiful little pets. Okay, y'all. I'm going to bid you a good night. Talk to you soon. See ya.